Hey, what's up guys, Dan the Movie Man here, bringing you another video, and today we're going to talk about Avengers Infinity War, what's going on, and, what's going to happen, and the biggest thing we're going to talk about is Hawkeye, because we're at this point 9-10 days away from opening night, and Hawkeye has not been seen in anything. He's not in the trailers, he's not in the promotional material, he's not in the posters. Where has Hawkeye been? Now, the Russos have said that it's very important to the film, that they have left Hawkeye out of this stuff for a reason. So Hawkeye is going to be very important to the plot of Infinity War. But how so? Is he re-retired after Civil War? Where is he? Because we know that, Cap got everyone on his team out. Did he go into hiding? Is he back at the farm with his family? Is that untraceable? Where is Hawkeye right now? And why is he so important to this story? Does he have the Soul Stone maybe? Is he on a secret mission? Is Hawkeye Thanos in disguise? These are the questions that everyone wants to know. And a lot of people are concerned about it. I'm not necessarily concerned about it. If anything, I'm happy about it because it means Hawkeye is being given a bigger role yet again. And if you know me, you know Hawkeye is one of my favorite MCU characters. Out besides Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my top tier. But he's one of my favorite characters in the MCU. So I'm happy about him being more important to the story because Hawkeye never really gets the respect in my mind that he deserves. But a lot of people are wanting to know what it is. I don't think he has the Soul Stone. I think Heimdall has the Soul Stone. I think Heimdall has always had the Soul Stone. So what could it be? What's going on with Hawkeye? Where is Hawkeye? What's he doing in this movie? A lot of theories out there about what Hawkeye's doing, and I really haven't made up my mind. I don't know what I believe going in. I obviously think Hawkeye is going to be surviving this film, but and that's another big question, is the deaths in this film. But staying track with Hawkeye, I don't know what he could be doing. Could he be recruiting? Could he be going around recruiting all the different Avengers? Maybe he's the link between Cap and Tony. We just have no idea what is going on with Hawkeye. But if I had to make a guess, my guess will be that Hawkeye is not going to show up until probably the third act of the film. And he's going to be he's going to be the one that brings the Avengers together. The Avengers, we know, after Civil War, have been torn apart completely. And Hawkeye, I'm assuming, is back in retirement. He's going to come back and kind of get Cap and Tony on the same page. He's going to be that link. And everyone's going to start fighting together. And that's the role I think Hawkeye's going to play in this film. But now, where does that go into Avengers 4? We don't know. I will say there's a few people I think don't make it out here. I think Cap is going in this one. I think Cap dies at the end of Avengers Infinity War. I think Heimdall's going. I think Vision is going, and I think by the end of this movie we're gonna see Thanos get that gauntlet, and that's gonna be the ending of the film. And then by Avengers 4, and the only one I'm kind of indifferent on is Cap, because Cap might survive into Avengers 4, but by the end of Avengers 4 he's definitely dead. But going into Avengers Infinity War, I think by the end of it, most of the original Avengers are gone. I think Cap is dead. I think Tony is dead. I think Thor is a maybe, but I don't know. Hulk, once again, I don't know. I see, realistically, the only main Avengers, I'm sure, of the original Avengers that I'm sure surviving are Hawkeye and Black Widow, and I think they're gonna kind of usher in the new Avengers with Falcon and Bucky and Spider-Man, and they're gonna help kind of lead this new team. That being said, I don't want to get too much into Avengers 4 because that's not the movie that's coming up. Let's get into Infinity War a little bit. We know that at a point, Vision is going to come face to face with Thanos. And it looks to be as if that Mind Stone is going to be plucked out of his head. That's, and I think Vision is going to die in this movie, but my big question is, because I've read comics. I'm a comic book fan, but I'm not as engaged as some. I'm not diehard comic book fan. I enjoy them, and there's certain stories I love, but I haven't read everything, obviously, and I'm not a comic book expert. Can Vision survive without the Mind Stone? Does the Mind Stone power him? If the Mind Stone gets ripped out, can it get put back in later? There's a lot of questions I have about that, because I just don't know. It doesn't seem like they would permanently kill off Vision, because they showed it in the trailer, and it just kind of, it's weird. Another thing, there's a clip from the trailer, and it's where Thanos is holding Thor's head, and a lot of people think, oh, that's just during a fight, or oh, maybe Thor's gonna die. And I'm subscribing to the other theory that Thanos, Loki has just given Thanos the Tesseract, and Thanos, having no more use for him, kills Loki in the most vile, disturbing, sadistic way possible, and he makes Thor watch. And that's what I think that scene is. I don't want that to be true, because I love Loki. He's one of the better villains we've had in the MCU, because I think we've only really had 3 great villains in the MCU, those being Loki, Vulture, and Killmonger. And that's another thing. Thor is said to have a lot of screen time in this movie. Gamora is said to have a lot of screen time in this movie, and the Russos have described this as Thanos' movie. We are following Thanos in this movie, and if that's the case, are we looking at things? Are we seeing things from his perspective? How much of the other Avengers? Because this is an all-star cast. We've got a ton of heroes in this movie. How much are we going to see all these guys, because I'm assuming some people are just going to pop in here and there and be around for a few minutes, and I mean, Civil War did a good job of it, but this is much more than Civil War, let's be honest. I just don't know how they're going to do it, who's going to get more screen time. Obviously, we've heard about Thor and Gamora getting very much screen time. It makes sense for Gamora to have that. Thanos, very close storyline because of her relation to Thanos. And Thor is kind of surprising. No real connection with Thanos that we know of. We know Thor does have very close connection with all the Infinity Stones. He's been around a couple of them. So maybe that's the link, and that's the reason he's around. Also, we saw Thanos' ship in the what I'm assuming is Thanos' ship in the after credit scenes of Thor Ragnarok. So that could play into it as well. One of my bigger questions is the Guardians. How much of a role do the other Guardians have besides Gamora? Chris Pratt reportedly he had to take time to film Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and then he's going back to this. So he's kind of like flip-flopped, and so we don't know how much he's actually filmed. We don't know how much Star-Lord is going to be in this movie. Rocket and Groot, how much of an impact are they going to have? Drax, and that's another thing. A lot of people are scared Drax is going to die. I do not want Drax to die. Do not kill Drax. But what are all these? What are their role in this going to be? Obviously, Drax is after Thanos. He wants vengeance on Thanos. Obviously, Gamora and Nebula, growing up with Thanos, a terrible childhood. They want to get Thanos. So where are they in this movie? And I mean, it's just a lot of characters to juggle. And if anybody can do it, it's the Russos. If anybody can do it, it's the Russos. But it's where do we go from here? One of my bigger questions going into this as well is what role is Tony playing here? Because Tony is kind of in the stills and the trailers. We've seen him with Wong and Banner a lot, and I guess Doctor Strange as well. I'm not sure how much of this movie he's going to be in. I don't think Tony is going to be in a lot of this movie at all, because it seems like a lot of this movie takes place in Wakanda. We've seen the battle on Wakanda, we've seen Cap on Wakanda, where he fights Thanos. We've seen a lot of Wakanda. There's a big battle that happens on Wakanda, which I'm excited to see more Wakanda, because Wakanda was amazing, and I'm definitely excited to see Black Panther and Shuri and all the cast of Black Panther because that was such a fantastic movie. But it's like, how much of a role is Tony going to have here? Because it seems like this movie is Thanos hitting Wakanda. And maybe he does. And we know he eventually comes to the States. Or, yeah, the United States. So, is he jumping back and forth? Is he only in the U.S. the beginning and then he jumps to Wakanda? Is it the other way around? It really depends. And another big question is if the Avengers do unite in this film, at the end of this film, and I think they do. Like I said, I think Hawkeye unites the Avengers at the end, but it's really tough. A lot of people are saying, keep the Avengers separate. In Avengers 4 have the big moment where they all unite. But I think they will unite at the end of this one and ultimately lose to Thanos. Thanos is he's gonna kill some people and he's gonna complete the gauntlet, and then it's gonna go down. It's gonna go down in Avengers 4. I think, not that this movie won't be good, and not that it can't stand on its own, but this is very much going to set up even more stuff to happen in Avengers 4. Don't get me wrong, this movie's gonna be awesome. From everything we've seen and heard, it's gonna be cool. We're gonna get a lot of fighting, a lot of action. We're gonna see our favorites: Cap, Iron Man, Spider-Man. But it's definitely setting up for more in next year when Avengers 4 comes out. So, ultimately, I do think the Avengers will unite, ultimately to fail in this movie. Hawkeye, I think, is just chilling out on his farm, and then he decides, he's the only one that can really whip these Avengers in the shave, get them on the same page, because Hawkeye's got people, when the Avengers the split, he had people on both sides. Hawkeye, very, very close with Scarlet Witch, very close with Black Widow. He's got, I would say, a decent relationship with Tony, but he's gonna have to be that glue that pulls them together, and if anybody can do that, it's Hawkeye. So that's what I think he's gonna do. I think this movie's gonna be awesome. I think there's gonna be a couple of deaths, some shocking, some maybe not shocking. I do think the Avengers are going to unite, but ultimately I think it's not going to matter. Thanos is going to get that gauntlet filled with Infinity Stones by the end of this movie, and we're going to be in for an even crazier fight next year when Avengers 4 hits theaters. What do you guys think? What's going to happen in Avengers Infinity War? Where's Hawkeye? What are your concerns or thoughts on the movie? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys later.